It's Levack and Goz on 104.5 The Team.
Live from the TU Center, we're joined by Sam Blum. Now, Sam, before we go any further, last time you were here, I pulled a Ron Burgundy and just read what they put in front of me. So please tell everyone who you report for.
Okay, well, it's a little complicated. It's two newspapers, but one company, the Troy Record, which is obviously the Troy area, and the Saratogian, which, works for the community up in Saratoga. So there's two different newspapers.
I think I turned them into the Troy-Togian or something like that.
The Saratogian Record.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
It wasn't really wrong. It was just a combination of both.
Right, it was like the lazy way out. So, and you, to your credit, did not correct me. I would have called me an idiot and
no,
corrected
okay.
me.
Slammed down the mic and walked off the interview. You did not do that.
Yeah,
thank you.
You know what? If you don't know how to read me, get out of here. So Sam, we appreciate you coming back to join us.
No, of course.
Even though I went Ron Burgundy on everybody while you were here last time. All right, what is the so we've asked Pat Sosa and we've asked Dargenio from Siena, and it's pretty company answer. What do you know about the return of Nico Clarith, and furthermore, what has it meant for the team?
Well, I think that it's definitely helped. I think that the Siena team really wouldn't be what it could be without him. I mean, obviously, you saw what he did at certain spurts of the Iona game and the Marist game, and he played really well, especially in the first half of both those games. But you also saw that he's, can put that team in a bit of a rut, too, when he starts to shoot and nothing goes in. That's kind of the same problem they had when he was with the team before. This whole suspension, leave of absence, whatever they want to call it, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a suspension. I think he thinks it's a suspension. They call it a leave of absence, but it certainly seemed more one-sided to me. And we asked Nico about, one of the issues, and you asked me what I kind of think, one of the issues that I had was that they didn't really make Nico available much when he first got back, and, obviously when he was gone, and it was kind of tough to get a read, and I'm sure Dargenio and Patsos didn't tell you much about why or what happened, and I've gotten the same kind of answers. So yeah, it's been a bit of a frustration trying to understand that. But when I asked Nico, and I thought this was the most telling answer, if he thought that the whole situation was fair, he asked me, "Is life fair?" And then I wasn't sure if I was supposed to respond. He waited. He said, "All right then." So you can read between the lines on that one,
right?
If he or how the situation is kind of playing out, but it's definitely helped that he's back. I don't think this team is going to win any MAC tournament or do anything all that special without him. So,
and that's the question right there I want to get to. Is it almost as a necessity to put him back on the team if this team wants to make a nice run in the MAC tournament? Yeah,
I mean, look, it's March and anything can happen. Niagara can win the conference tournament, Quinnipiac can win the conference. Anyone can win it. It's a pretty deep league, and a lot of teams, people talk about the ACC a lot as being the deepest league, but there aren't many, easy wins in the MAC, which is impressive considering that there are 11 teams. So anybody can win it. But yeah, I do think that having Nico back, you needed a guy that can make some 3-pointers. Brett's not playing well right now, which has kind of been overlooked by the fact that they're winning, but he hasn't shot the ball well at all. And yeah, I mean, there's just not a lot of guys that can make a 3 on this team. So when he is on, this team is really hard to beat. And I think it's going to be interesting to see if he's on tonight, because Siena can make a real big statement tonight against Monmouth.
Sam Blum with us right now from the Saratogian and the Troy Record. Two companies. Well, two papers, one company.
Two papers, one company.
I got to make a mistake somewhere, or else it just isn't that much fun. Okay, so Nico's back, and you kind of get the feeling that everybody's just kind of brushing it like water under the bridge. We're not worried about it. Sophomore, does he play his junior year for Siena?
I mean, I think that probably had a lot to do with why he came back already. I mean, if you let him go, to the end of this year and he's not playing, I didn't expect him to be back this year, but I guess they felt like they had a chance this year. I think he'll be back personally, but it's tough. I haven't like I said, he doesn't talk much. I've reached out to his family and I haven't really heard from them either. So it's tough to get a sense of where people are coming from. So I wouldn't make too much of an educated guess. But if I had to make any sort of prediction, I would think he'd be back, if only because he's back on the team now and things are going well.
Let's talk about the impact of tonight's game. Best team in the conference, Monmouth, here times Union. It's the same spot where the MAC tournament's going to be. Could the argument be made if Siena wins tonight, they should be considered the favorite in the conference tournament with a win over Monmouth and it being on their home floor?
I wouldn't say that. I think that Monmouth is going to come into this tournament as the favorite, if only because they're going to come in as the 1 seed. And I think that it brings up an important point that in order for Siena to have a really good shot, I think they really need to be gunning for the number 2 seed. Because when you get the 2 seed in the MAC tournament, theoretically you get to play 3 games over the course of 4 days, as opposed to 3 through 5, which would have 3 games in 3 days, and then obviously 6 through 11, which we need to win 4 games in 4 days. So it's there's obviously a big difference between the 2 and the 3 seed, and right now Siena is half a game behind the 3 team, which is St. Peter's, and then a full game behind Iona, who I'm not really sure what their tiebreaker situation is with Iona because they both won a game. But yeah, I mean, but I think your question is more like, in theory, who's the best team in this league? And if Siena wins tonight, I think that's a really big statement, and especially beating Iona and Monmouth in the span of 6 days. I mean, people kind of forgot about Siena this year, and they won't after a win tonight if that's what happens.
Now, Sam, I know we're all focused on Siena and Monmouth, but as I look in my notes, Cuse Boy over here wants to know what your thoughts are on Syracuse.
He's
Louisville.
Wearing the hoodie for the Final Four right there.
Yeah.
Cuse Louisville tonight.
We both been to Houston now, I guess, right?
That's right. We both have been.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, first of all, I think that it's, I heard that Syracuse will be having a nice moment of silence before the game to honor Fab Melo, which is a really sad situation. So that'll be great that they are able to honor him, and especially with the controversy that's kind of gone around about his name. That this is obviously more important than any of that. And yeah, I mean, Syracuse could get a really, really, really big win. They've played well at home recently. The whole season they played well at home. I think if they win this game, they're pretty much gonna. I never want to say they're a lock or they're not a lock, but you have wins over Virginia, Florida State, and then if you get Louisville, I mean, I don't know how you leave a team like that out.
I like that answer. If they win tonight, they're in the NCAA.
Like we said, it's a win and they're in, right?
I don't want to deal with these guys for the next 3 weeks because last year I had to deal with it when Syracuse is on the bubble and they don't deserve to get in. And then the Monday, then they go to the Final Four.
Everyone said last time they lost to Pitt, obviously in the conference tournament, everyone said that was the end of their year. And so I don't, people were saying this was such a bad loss on Saturday. I was like, well, that's what they said the last time they lost to Pittsburgh, and see what happened. So right. I would never look at that too much, I would say.
All right, Sam will be back for the Syracuse Fanboy Show with Goz.
I'm not a Syracuse fan, don't worry.
Sam, we appreciate you and look forward to checking out your stuff in the Saratogian and the Troy Record.
Thank you.